Today, let's talk about how we build or put together our sales strategy. Now, sales strategy is the overarching plan. What is it we're trying to accomplish, right? Well, there's components that we need to have in all of our strategies. Those are the tactics that everybody says. Now, the first thing I always ask when everybody's setting up their strategy of how they're going to gain more customers or go to market or whatever, I always ask, what's your sales process? And most people stop and go, why do we even care about the sales process? We're trying to sell a product. Well, the process that you set in place on how everybody in your organization follows it to sell to the customer using the same common language will actually improve your sales and your output. So, just like a process of getting ready in the morning, the more you use it, the more efficient you get and the faster you can go. That's why we always have all those great ideas in the shower, right? We're not even thinking about how we need to wash our hair, we just do it. Well, doing a sales process over and over, we're going to be super successful. That's what pro athletes and organizations do, Navy SEALs do, is they have a process they repeat over and over again of practice, review. So when it's time to go out there and play or go to their mission, they're uber successful. That's what we need to have in our strategy. What's our sales process? And does it answer the 5 buying decisions that the customer has? If we don't answer them correctly or we get them out of order, guess what's going to happen? We become a commodity. What happens to our profits? Well, they go to the basement. So we need to make sure that we have the right sales process, something that everybody follows and correctly in the right order, so that way we're successful. And I'm not just saying salespeople, I'm talking about your customer service, your warranty, your service departments. They all have to be following the right sales process as well. What does that look like? Well, the first buying decision that anybody has is the salesperson, the person they're interacting with, right? So we need to answer 3 questions. Do I like you? Do I trust you? And how can you help me? If we can't answer those, guess what's going to happen? You're not buying from us. So we need to make sure that we have an environment that's nice and neutral, so it's not driving up anxieties. And we need to have the right colors that build on trust that we wear and how we interact with people, whether it's on the phone or not. And the different scents can actually throw stuff off. If you haven't done so, go to a department store. Look at the women's department compared to the men's and the kids department. They have different lighting, sounds, and smells pumped into those environments. Why? Well, the different personality types and everything go into these things and these decisions. I mean, Nordstrom's and all them put tons of money to invest in understanding the customers. They do it right because they want to know what's going to trigger the customer, what's going to make them want to stay longer. So we need to make sure when we're hitting the mark, we're going and focused in on the customer as well. So our strategy must be customer focused. How can we support the customer? Sales process is one key component that we'll be focused in on doing so and win at sales with the customer. Doing so, they're going to reward us with more sales. Now, let's get into some other things that we need to be doing to grow our sales. We need to constantly be investing in ourselves. That's right. Our sales teams, all the teams need to be invested and have a culture of growth in our organization. And I always tell people, at least once a year, have someone come in and do a training that's going to help you with your sales process or whatever you're working on that's going to add value and drive some change. One more tool to put in your toolbox. You don't have to focus on 10 different things that you're going to learn from it. Just focus on one. One new thing you can learn each time you engage on something. And we need to be focused on getting everybody to go in there, learn, turn off the emails, and focus in. Go through that training. It works. And yes, sometimes the people are saying the same thing as the owners. And when I first got into sales, that's what would happen. Is the owner, who was the best salesperson I've ever met, would actually bring in these sales trainers to come train us. Because they would say something in a little bit different tone or say the same thing, basically, and we'd get it. Because the more and more you hear the same thing, you become knowing it as truth. So we need to make sure we're investing at least once a year in our teams to grow them. Doing so, we'll be super successful. Now, after that training, do a debrief. That's right. It's like watching the game film. People need to come together and give their insights of what they learned from the training, why they learned it, why they think it was impactful, how it's going to help them. Because as iron sharpens irons, we will get better together by learning with each other. So having that debrief after that training will help the teams encourage each other and grow together. More solid bonds and a tighter ship. Outside of that, we should be focused in on doing supplemental learning as well. Remember, our organization should be cultivating one of growth, consistent growth and growing together. So we should be doing books or podcasts as well. You can do like a book a quarter if you want, or podcast, but every weekly meeting that we have, 5-10 minutes, talk about that to find the one thing that's going to add value and help us grow. Because we need to be constantly learning. People that are learning are growing, and people that are growing are more successful. Being customer focused and constantly learning is the way to go. That's what we need for our sales strategy. Whatever strategy we're setting up should be of growth, making sure our process is in place that's correct and answering those 5 buying decisions. If it's not, feel free to reach out. I'll be glad to help you. My contact information is below. I'm here to help you. Now, if this video is helpful, hit like, share, subscribe, send it to somebody you think it might benefit. That's why I'm doing these videos, is to help you. We'll see you next time.